Karizmatik.
Today's deep dive is into the source material detailing the 7 deadly psychological games of control. These are covert manipulation techniques that seek to trap and control relationships by exploiting our basic needs and even our perception of reality. Hello, everyone.
Warm greetings to you all.
We're really happy to be back with another episode.
At Karizmatik, we truly work around the clock to create content that's useful for you.
More than 50 people contribute with care and precision across our network of channels so you can have the best possible experience.
If you're enjoying this, please share the video with others.
That small action helps the show reach more people and gives us the energy to keep going better and stronger.
Shall we begin?
Let's start extracting these core mechanics. Okay, so our mission today is, it's pretty heavy, but it's absolutely essential. We're diving deep into the core mechanics of 7 powerful psychological control tactics from the source material.
And this isn't about, simple disagreement.
No, not at all. The source actually describes this behavior as a calculated crime. And I think that word is chosen carefully because it leaves no physical trace, but it does profound damage to the mind and the spirit.
That is the crucial distinction, yeah. And for you listening, the goal here is really empowerment. Just understanding these patterns, these covert games, is the first real step toward exiting them completely.
It's about getting past that chronic confusion.
Exactly, and starting to identify the specific strategy that's being used against you.
So let's start where the manipulation begins, at the very hook. Game 1, the storm of attention. The source calls this the addictive hook.
Right, and it's so deceptive because it doesn't begin with pain or conflict.
Yeah.
It starts with this flood of positive, personalized attention. It almost feels too good to be true.
That's the thing. The victim is made to feel like they are the most perfect, the most complete person the manipulator has ever met.
They zero in on your unseen parts, your vulnerabilities, your deepest wishes, and they make those things seem incredibly interesting. Suddenly you feel seen like never before.
But wait, I have to ask, how do you tell the difference between that and just, genuine intense affection at the start of a relationship? Because people do get excited.
That is the million-dollar question. And the difference really lies in the pattern and, crucially, the speed.
The speed.
Yeah. The source compares this initial attention to a drug injection. The goal isn't slow, sustainable intimacy. The goal is rapid addiction. They're mirroring your needs to create this profound, almost instant dependency.
So once that high is established, the switch gets flipped.
Exactly. The tap of affection is abruptly turned off, and the victim goes into this intense emotional withdrawal. They're so addicted to that initial feeling that they'll do anything, I mean anything, to get it back.
Even just a drop of it.
Even a drop. And that's the control. It's like a fish on a line fighting to get back to that initial comfort.
So what's the defense here, the main takeaway?
It's that real intimacy requires time. It needs consistency. Excessive speed is a huge warning sign. You have to focus on the behavioral patterns over weeks and months, not just the persuasive words.
Okay, so once the hook is set, the manipulator moves on. This brings us to game 2, gaslighting, reality manipulation.
And here, the source makes a really shocking comparison, but a necessary one. It references German Nazi propaganda techniques.
Wow.
Yeah, and it highlights 2 rules they followed. 1, a bigger lie is more believable, and 2, a lie repeated often enough becomes the truth. A gaslighter applies this on a micro level to your personal reality.
So they can't change what actually happened, like they made a mistake or they lied.
Right, they can't change the fact, but what they can do is successfully change your perception of that fact. The focus immediately shifts from their action to your reaction.
Okay, so they'll use phrases like, you're just too sensitive, or that's your imagination.
Exactly, or the classic, you always exaggerate. This is a form of what some call epistemic abuse. The goal is to make you doubt your own memory, your own senses, your own sanity.
The source even says victims start gathering proof like screenshots or recordings just to prove to themselves that they're not going crazy.
Yes, and that's when the manipulator has won. Control is effortless over someone who doubts their own judgment.
So the defense here has to be,
You have to trust your own feelings. Prioritize them. Don't question the existence of the feeling itself. If you feel uneasy or hurt or confused, that feeling is real. It's your internal compass screaming a warning.
all right, so if they can't deny reality outright, they might shift to game 3, the annoying silence.
And this isn't just someone needing space after a fight. This is different. It's a calculated coldness, a lack of conversation that can last for days.
And the power comes from the ambiguity, right? The not knowing.
Precisely. That's the engine of this tactic. It creates this gnawing anxiety inside you. You start questioning yourself, what did I do? Did I offend them somehow? You're trapped in the state of agonizing indecision.
And you end up trying to compensate for an unknown mistake.
That's the fuel. You start pleading, texting, apologizing, just to fix a problem that hasn't even been defined, that reinforces their control. The silence forces you into a subordinate role.
So how do you fight back against, well, against nothing, against silence?
You have to be direct. You have to name the technique, call it out, say something like, if there's an issue, we need to discuss it because silence won't solve anything.
And if they refuse to talk?
Then you know the goal isn't resolution. The goal is control.
Okay, that brings us to a wider battlefield with Game 4. Triangulation.
Triangulation is so simple in its structure, but it's incredibly damaging. The argument is between two people, but suddenly a third person is brought in.
An imaginary ally.
An imaginary ally, exactly. They'll say, you know, my mother agrees with me. She says you're being difficult. Or even my friend thinks you're selfish.
It's like they're calling in this unseen jury.
And think about what that means. If you have to recruit imaginary allies, it means your own argument is weak.
Right.
The victim suddenly feels cornered, like they're fighting this imaginary army. You start to doubt your own stance because you feel outnumbered.
The goal isn't to convince you, it's just to wear you down.
Exactly. So your countermove is to demand transparency. You have to eliminate those external voices. Say, I don't care what your mother thinks. This is about you and me. What is your argument? You reestablish that boundary.
Thanks for staying with us up to this point. If it's been helpful, send it right now to one person. Your single share really motivates our team. We're now moving into the final and, frankly, the most strategic phase of this. The source warns us that these last 3 techniques are more dangerous. They're the ones that can catch you even if you've spotted the first 4.
We start with Game 5, which has a very evocative name from the source material. Dry bread.
Or noun, koshk.
Dry bread.
Think about it. If you're starving and someone gives you just a piece of dry bread, it keeps you from dying, but it gives you no satisfaction, no real nourishment.
That perfectly captures it. The manipulator gives you just the bare minimum. The dry crumbs, an occasional text, a random like on social media, a fleeting compliment out of nowhere. And this minimal attention is just enough to keep you hopeful, to keep you emotionally alive in the dynamic. It's the psychological trap of intermittent reinforcement.
But the second you ask for something real, commitment, intimacy, the next stage, they disappear.
They become ambiguous or just unavailable.
Yeah.
The relationship only exists in that space of waiting and unmet expectation. You're stuck in a loop, always hoping this time will be different.
And they never have to end it because they're keeping you occupied with this tiny sliver of hope.
It's controlled by emotional starvation. And the only defense is a decisive, immediate exit. You have to recognize that dry bread attention is not enough. You deserve a full meal. You have to exit that waiting loop.
Game 6 introduces a truly insidious concept, the White Knight. We think of a hero, but the source asks a chilling question. What if the hero who lifts you up is the one who caused you to fall?
This is so dangerous because their entire identity relies on you being dependent. So they create problems just so they can swoop in and solve them. It makes them feel powerful. They get to be the savior.
Can you give an example of what that looks like?
It's often really covert. Maybe they subtly undermine your confidence right before a big meeting so you don't do well, and then they're the first one there to comfort you and offer to help you fix it for next time.
So they create the chaos and then manage it.
Exactly. And the real toe the tripwire is what happens when you start to get better on your own.
What happens?
If you grow, if you set boundaries, if you solve your own problems, the White Knight gets cold. They distance themselves. Or, worst of all, they make you feel ungrateful for all their help.
Because your independence is a threat to them.
Their goal was never your well-being. It was your perpetual neediness. Genuine help promotes growth. The White Knight requires dependency. You have to see that difference and refuse to let them take your power.
And finally, we get to Game 7. The source calls this the most toxic technique, a 3-headed dragon. It's called DARV.
DARV. It's an acronym. It stands for Deny, Attack, and Reverse Victim and Offender.
Okay, let's walk through that.
Let's use the source's scenario. You approach the manipulator calmly about a lie. You say, why did you lie to me about where you were?
Okay, step 1.
Step 1,
Right.
Deny. A flat I didn't lie. Just a simple rejection of reality.
Step 2.
Attack. They immediately go after your character or your motives. You're always so suspicious, or you're sick for even bringing this up. It's aggressive deflection.
And the final move, the reversal.
Step 3. Reverse victim and offender. This is where they create a whole new narrative where they are the victim of your accusation. They'll say, "You've broken my heart with your suspicion," or "I'm so miserable being with someone who's always hounding me."
And the terrifying result is that the person who asked the legitimate question ends up apologizing to the liar.
Yes. They comfort the manipulator because they've been overloaded with manufactured guilt and shame. It's emotional jujitsu.
How do you even begin to counter that?
You have to maintain your focus. You cannot fall for the diversion. When the conversation shifts to their pain, you have to pause and firmly bring it back to the original topic. The accountability you asked for.
And you have to remember the golden rule.
The ultimate shield against Arvo. Asking for accountability is not an attack. And confronting someone with the truth of their actions is not cruelty. It's a requirement for any healthy relationship.
Wow. This has been some really heavy material, but it's so important. The source makes it clear that just recognizing these games, just being able to name them, is the first firm step toward getting out.
It is.
So if you're listening and this resonates, you're not crazy, you're not overly sensitive, you're likely up against a very skilled player, but now you know the rules of the game.
And that is the final insight, the empowering part. Real power returns to you when their games stop working. When you see the pattern, you stop reacting, and the manipulation starves. This knowledge is what empowers you to take back control of your life. Thanks for being with us to the end. If it helped, hit tid. Like, leave a short comment, and share it with someone who'd enjoy it. Every share helps more people find us. And don't forget to stay subscribed to Karizmatik. The best is yet to come. See you in the next episode. Stay charismatic.
Karizmatik.